G'day folks, this is part 2 of the Toshiba BD4515 Photocopier Autopsy. I've been fairly busy tidying up today, making progress with the culling of Ed systems, as I call it, and this is one of the things getting culled. So in order to get it ready for the scrap load tomorrow, I'm just going to do this video and chuck the rest on the trailer. But I will be keeping a number of select parts, like the chains, sprockets, drives, that sort of thing, because this sort of stuff's really neat. You don't find that in new machines. It's a nice, decent little mini chain. Just to clarify on what makes a photocopier and a digital copier a digital copier. A digital copier is essentially a flatbed scanner attached to a laser printer. You scan the original once, it can be processed electronically, modified, changed, enlarged without any moving optics or enlargement stuff. A digital copier then prints many copies from one original scan. An analog copier like this one has to scan once for every copy that you want to make, because the reflection of the original is reflected straight down through the optics and then transferred onto this drum here via visible light, that is, rather than laser radiation. This one here is dumping toner everywhere, so the whole surface of the drum's covered in it, but normally the drum would be charged by a corona wire, which is up in here. High tension electrostatic energy charges the surface of the drum, which is chemically coated to accept static electricity, and whatever light hits it, light being the white part of the document, the background, whatever light hits it deletes that static charge and just leaves an outline of the text. So you end up with this static image on the drum of the text which you want to copy, and as it passes this black powder called the toner on the transfer unit, that tone is electrostatically pulled to the letters, numbers, images, whatever's on the paper that you're trying to copy. And the white areas remain white because there is no electrostatic charge to pull the toner there. As the drum rotates with that image on it, the paper's coming through from here, the paper comes in from the back, comes past here over this transfer wire, which is another high voltage, high tension wire, which pulls, it has a very high charge, it pulls the toner off the drum and onto the paper. It has a charge greater than that of the drum. If the charge on the drum is greater than the transfer wire, then you won't get transfer. It'll just end up as waste toner coming out the back of it. But since this charge on this wire is greater than the charge in the drum, it pulls the toner off onto the paper, which is coming through here. This wire here actually neutralizes the charge. There's a deact wire, so it transfers, then it deactivates the paper, so it's not statically charged at all, and then it transfers through this fusing roller, which is a heated silicon covered roller, or Teflon coated aluminum tube. That's coated in Teflon, and it has a 1000 watt lamp or something similar to that variety inside it, the halogen tube. So that's very hot, it melts the toner. Toner is just plastic and wax powder, with carbon black in this case. Colour copiers have different colour pigments in them as well, but in this case it's just carbon black, wax, and probably polyethylene or polypropylene powder, something similar to that. They vary in formulation from one maker to another, but that's basically it in a nutshell. It's imaging using electrostatic energy. All you're doing is pulling powder from one place to another, depositing it on the paper, and then sticking it through a melting roller and burning it into the paper. That's why photocopiers don't run when you get them wet, whereas inkjet printers, it runs everywhere, it makes a mess. Not nice. I always prefer laser printers, photocopiers, digital copiers over any kind of inkjet crap. I run a Minolta DI, or sorry, not a DI, it's a CF2001 scanner printer combo unit, and it's a very good solid unit. It'll print full colour A3 glossy prints on cardboard if I want it to. It's a big heavy machine. But let me get it to lock again. Nah, I think I upset it, but let's start pulling this thing apart. Enough rambling. Well, the LCD on this thing's kind of interesting for something from 1983, because it has, even though it's not a TFT, it can't make its own image. It has coloured filter spots all over it. It's even got a dead spot in the middle where I think somebody's hit it. They haven't broken the front glass, but they've broken the one on the back, and it's just got a big hole in it. If you push on it, you can see a liquid crystal mixture moving around inside it. Kind of weird. But yeah, it's got coloured green, red, blue, orange, yellow. This camera display's doing weird things. Either it's in its death throes or it's starting to work again. I don't know. Try not to break it. But yeah, it's definitely stuffed anyway. And it's got its own little ballast transformer for the backlight. It's rather interesting. It's got a little fluorescent tube behind it. Fat little tube actually. It's about 10 mil in diameter, 3/8 of an inch. So that's neat. It's stuffed, but it's neat. Has a linear slide from the top glass. Ball bearing slides. You get heaps of them out of copiers. Front panel, it's just got the usual controls and things on it. Crap. Logic board. Oh, crap. In here is a control and power supply for the exposure lamp, the scanner lamp. The scanner lamp itself is 183 volts, 184 volts or something like that. I don't know why they choose such weird voltages, but it must be to do with brightness, lumen output, and colour, I suppose. The colour of the light, wavelength. But yeah, 183 volts. I'm guessing if I put 240 volts through that tube it wouldn't like me. But that's something we can have fun with. Let's take some more metal bits off. Okay, we're getting down into the core of it. The optics are held in by 4 springs. That was about it. Just holds them down onto these rods, and it just sits there. Sort of common. There's no load on them anyway, so I don't see why not. This whole thing's driven by clutches. That's a clutch pack there. It's got 3 clutches and everything in it. That's the second clutch pack with the brake disc on it for the optics. Oh, sorry, the top glass. Everything's driven by one motor, which is in there. So that's the main chain drive for the fuser, the paper feed rollers coming in, and the main drum unit, which engages there. So everything runs off this one motor down in the belly of it. So I've got to pull this whole lot off the bottom tray, undo these screws along here, and lift the whole chassis up off the tray to get to that motor. But it seems to be fairly sizable. It's about that big. It's about as big as my hand. So that's a good thing. Probably 240 volt as well. I noticed even this blower here is 240 volt. It's not 24 like a lot of the new copiers are. It's even got a little duct attached to it. It's all good stuff. It's heavy duty. A lot of metal bits and big metal gears. Not much left now. Just the bottom half. I'm not going to go into the drum unit because it's just going to make even more of a mess than that already has. There's toner everywhere. But I want to get into the guts of it and pull that motor and power supply out. That one there. The little chainy things. Solenoid. Forward, reverse. Well, there's the main motor. It's a gear motor, as I realised. It's a 240 volt single phase cap run motor, which is great. You just wire it straight up to the mains and it'll work. It's a 22:1 gear reduction on it too, so that's a good thing. And yeah, it's a neat little package. Takes forever for it to stop too, so it's very free, it's smooth running. Exactly what you want in a photocopier. The transformer output is 10 volts at 0.4 amps, 26 volts at 3.2 amps, 1983 again. High tension supply for the transfer wires, 5.2 kV, yeah, DC 250 volt microamp, I don't know, yeah, little DC high voltage supply, various other little boards and power filters, and that's about it. Really neat stuff, so I'll just pull this all out and chuck the rest in the bin. Thanks for watching. That's been a neat little old photocopier from 1983. Oh yes, just before it starts raining and I pack up for the night, we can't forget the optics assembly. This one's kind of neat because it's got a fixed lens assembly and little shutters and things on it. I think it can also move back and forth to adjust the focal length, which is your enlargement or reduction on the control panel, the percentage. A little driver for the motor, it's a little DC motor, and it's also got a little rotary encoder on it. It's a neat little package there. It's got gear reduction and a rotary encoder, so that'd be worth collecting. The little shutters there, they'll obviously flip down depending on if it moves forwards. This one will flip down. If it moves backwards, that one will flip down. You've got various lenses and little blockouts on them. There's a little light sensor in there, light dependent resistor, and a mirror, and the other one which is broken on the floor down there from when it fell off the Jag engine. So that's the optic assembly. Nothing too fancy, but still interesting. I haven't seen one like that before. And that's it. Thanks for watching.